there folks, Colin here, and yes, welcome to the February newsletter. I'm going to be sharing some thoughts around exploration. It's the theme for DGT and the family that work within the fold of DGT. And yes, for me, as an explorer for the year ahead, what are the qualities and traits of an explorer that I would like to bring out within? And there are about five traits or qualities that I'm going to be working with as we go and explore new things, ways of doing new things in our business. And for example, I'm busy looking at working with Di on creating some apps for what we do with Beyond Thinking. And yes, this is uncharted territory. This is where I'm required to be the explorer. With the explorer, you actually consciously choose to go out into the wilderness. You go and do something differently. And I feel whether you're a leader in the workplace or a leader in your own life, this is something that is quite exciting if you want to create change. But why would I want to go out and do something differently? Well, that's probably one of the first qualities of an explorer, is to consciously choose to do something differently because you have a calling or a purpose. The why. I've spoken about this in the previous vlog. And if you look at explorers of the past and even present, there's this calling. Why would they go and do something that is quite dangerous and risky at the best of times? Now, I'm not going to be climbing Mount Everest, but I'm going to be doing things that I haven't done before. So even I feel sort of, kind of nervous about it, but there's something that's pulling me there. And for me, the purpose, it's something I want to test myself. I want to go out there and try new parameters and test my abilities. And I think it was Edmund Hillary when he was climbing Mount Everest. He says, we don't climb Mount Everest to conquer the mountain. We climb Mount Everest to conquer ourselves. And this is probably one of the first qualities and traits that I'm going to be working with, is my why, my calling, and to remind myself of that as I go into the uncharted territories. The second quality that I'm really going to be working with, and one has to as an explorer, and I would suggest if you are going to go and do something totally different, whether it's in the workplace or in your personal life, if you're going to be working with yourself, new habits, new patterns, or in the workplace, working with new systems, trying to do things differently that haven't been done before, one of the qualities to deal with is that of success and failure. Because as an explorer, you're never going to get things done right the first time. In fact, if you look at Shackleton, he went out, wanted to travel across Antarctica, be the first to travel across Antarctica. And halfway through, his ship got stuck in ice, and he had to accept that failure. And what did he do next? He focused on his people to get them back to safety. So failure and success, I think, is something that as an explorer one has to be prepared for. And it was Rudyard Kipling in his poem If. He says of triumph and disaster to treat them both the same. Well, that leads to the third quality, and that is curiosity. I think an explorer has to be curious. You have to be curious about, what you're doing. Be curious about how it affects you internally. And there's so many different aspects to curiosity. What lies around the corner? What is possible? If I'm going down this avenue, what could be the outcomes? And one of the biggest curiosities for me is to be curious about fear, because that's going to be my partner along the journey. The self-doubts that sneak in, the fear of rejection when you do something and you put it out there and it initially doesn't work, the fear of self-worth, the fear of loneliness. As an explorer, you're on your own. As a leader, if you're doing something that's never been done before, all eyes are going to be on you. So you've got to learn to handle this. And that kind of leads to the fourth quality, which I feel is very important, and that is commitment. To actually commit everything you have internally to face those fears, to work with a curiosity, but to commit and demonstrate through gesture your commitment. Now, one of the explorers that really took it to the nth degree was Cortez. He actually, on his way down to the Americas to go pillage all the gold from the Aztecs, he burnt his ships so that his team members or the people on his exploration had no choice but to fight their way through it. He was clever though. He slid one out. He sent one ship back off to Spain. So commitment, I suppose also one's got to be careful of overcommitment, where it ties in with, you're so determined to succeed, like Shackleton. If you're so determined, he could have killed all his people. It's to know the limits, but but the commitment is through gesture, to make daily gestures for me practically in the work I do daily, to do something that is different, to feel the self-doubt, but to still commit through a gesture, sitting down, writing, whatever it is. And the commitment's got to be demonstrated to the people out there. If you're wanting to commit to yourself and change, for example, some aspects to yourself as an explorer, to go out there and look at new behaviors, you've got to commit to yourself to do that. And without commitment, you're not going to get far. You're always going to maybe have that first challenge and turn back. So that is the fourth quality. Finally, the last quality is nonconformity, and I think this is the hard one, because all these qualities go hand in hand. To do what's been done before is not exploration. It's to go to places, the uncharted seas, and sometimes this means you can't conform to the paradigms because you're challenging the paradigms, challenging the way things are done before. So there has to be an aspect of nonconformity, and I think where I draw a lot of inspiration from in the modern day world is Richard Branson. He's one of the most nonconformist leaders of our time. And yes, I think he's a great inspiration to show that it's okay to be as authentic as you can. Bring an authenticity. You know, what is that about? Well, it's about being in touch with your feelings, your emotions, and having that ability to not to be afraid to show your true self out there. And yes, let that be the inspiration. So those are just some thoughts for the year ahead for me as an explorer. And yeah, until we chat again, take care and stay aware.